There is nothing, permanent. There is nothing. There is no existence in falsehood. But when he says this, then he wants to make our perception about the reality very clear, more clear. Though you see this world, though you see this phenomena, and because this phenomena did not exist in the past, and this is not going to exist in the future, so this is not real. But what is not real? What is not real? It is not the existence of the phenomena that is not real. It is not like that. The existence of the phenomena is real. But the unreality depends upon the name and form. When you impose name and form in the objects that is evident to you, that is the time you make the mistake. That is the time you make the mistake, because everything that you come across is all divine. Not only you, but everything that you come across, even this pen, pencil, rubber, books, rock, earth, gold, human being, animals, everything is divine. But you don't see the divinity. What do you see? You see only the name and form, the outer name and form. And that is what you recognize. And that is why he says, Avinashi tu tatviddi, yena sarvamidam tatam. Arjun, we are talking about reality. We are talking about reality. The reality is not that, it is not that you are the only real thing. It's not like that. Everything that you experience is real, but in its real nature, its real form. You don't see the real form. You only see the name and form. You don't see the real form. You don't see the real existence. You only see, the outer shell of that. That is, if you say mango means only that outer shell. But mango is not the skin. When you peel the skin, that is where mango comes out. Mango is not, the outer skin. Coconut is not the outer shell. But when you talk about coconut, the first thing that comes to your mind is that outer shell. But that is not coconut. You have to break it, and after breaking it, the white portion within the coconut is the real coconut. But when you think about coconut, do you think only about the white shell? No. All this, all that comes. The shell comes. Okay? So whenever you are talking about something, with the existence, there is this amalgamation of name and form. And because there is this amalgamation of name and form, that is why the name and form, they come, before the actual existence. And because the name and form comes before the actual existence, we only experience the name and form. We can only perceive the name and form. We forget about the actual existence. But the actual existence of everything is Avinashi, indestructible. Everything that you see, like when I am indestructible, I am immortal. Everything that I experience, everything that I encounter, everything I come across is also immortal. Avinashi tu tadviddi, yena sarvamidam tadam. Whatever you see, your stove, your car, everything is immortal. But you don't see the real existence. Like, when we say, what is this? We say this is a glass. This is a glass that we say, but this glass is a name and form of the glass. The glass was given a form. The same glass is given a form into a plate, or this. The same glass. So this is a name and form of the glass. Okay? Now, the name and form is not true. What is true? The glass is true, because glass is the actual matter. But is glass the truth? No. Glass is not the truth. Within this glass, there is atoms. So, these glass atoms arranged in a certain way makes glass. So glass is not true. Actually, it is the It is the glass atoms. Because their arrangement made this. Again, some arrangement of atoms, they made paper. Some arrangement they made tin, iron, copper, gold, human being. So it's only the arrangement of atoms. So it is actually not the glass, it is the arrangement of the atoms. It is the atoms. Is it the atoms? No, it is not the atoms. It is the electrons, protons, neutrons which remains inside the atom. So this was a glass, but then it became electron, proton, neutron. Is it electron, proton, neutron? No. Inside that, more, if you go deeper, is only energy. So energy has, manifested itself in the form of glass. So when we say glass is not a glass. It is the energy which has manifested itself in the form of glass. But do we perceive things like this? Do we perceive a tree as the soul which has manifested itself as a tree? No, we only see it as a tree. When we see a car, do we see that energy has manifested itself as car? No, that is a car. That is my car. But everything is divine. There is nothing other than divinity. There is nothing other than divinity. Everything is consciousness. Sarvam khalu idam brahma. Sarvam khalu idam brahma. Everything that you see, you come across, they are but the consciousness. They emanate consciousness. They always radiate consciousness. They always radiate light. Why don't I see it? Because I don't have the tools. Because I am more focused on the name and form. Because I have this firm conviction that the name and form is truth, and that is why I do not see the radiation of light, radiation of energy, radiation of knowledge, radiation of consciousness from everything. The moment I develop that capacity of looking beyond name and form, then I will see everything that is present in this universe is but the self. Sarvam khalu idam brahma. Everything is reality. Everything is the self. There is nothing else other than the self. There is nothing else other than the self. Avinashi tu tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Krishna says, though I am saying, you have to discriminate between the real and the unreal, which is truth and which is not true. You have to discriminate. But you have to know this, that everything that you come across, everything that you see is all real. But why don't you see it as reality? Because you only have this idea of name and form. That's it. You cannot go deeper. So to see this as consciousness, the only thing that you need is to see yourself as that consciousness. The moment you can perceive yourself, feel yourself as that consciousness, you will see everything that you see in the internal and in the external world is but consciousness. Avinashi tu tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Whatever you see is all indestructible, and because they are indestructible, they are also they also do not have a origination. They do not have any creation, because anything which is created is destroyed. So if this cannot be destroyed, that means it was not created. So everything that you see come across is all truth, consciousness, reality. So be happy. There is nothing to worry about in this world. We are all celestial being, we are all cosmic being, we are all divine, and we are in divinity. And that is why in the Upanishads it says Aye dhamani divyani tastu. We think that we are the inhabitants of this world. The Upanishad says, hey, you, the inhabitants of the divine world. This world is divine. This world where we reside, this world full of corona is but divine. Corona also is divine. This world, this burning world, Australia is burning. This burning world is but divine. In the fire there is this truth. In the fire there is this truth. Agnir yatha bhuvanam pravishta rupam rupam pratirupam bahuva ekam tatha sarva bhutantaratma rupam rupam pratirupam bahishcha. When this fire comes, when a fire enters into the house, it burns everything. It's burning furniture. It's burning, it's burning like books. It's burning, your bed. So whatever it is burning, it is taking the shape of that. But though it has taken the shape of that, it is only fire. It is not anything else. It is not that. It is the fire which has taken the shape of that particular object. Ekam tatha sarva bhut antaratma. In the same way, though the fire has different shapes, but it is fire. It is that one fire. In the same way, there may be different shapes, different names, different forms, but there is only one self, one consciousness, one reality, one soul. Rupam rupam pratirupam bahishcha. The outer shell may consist of many different names and forms. Many different forms. Some are bright, some are dark. Some speak English, some cannot. But the one who is within is the same. Okay? Is the same. So we are the inhabitants of the divine world. This world is divine because everything here is divinity. So don't worry, be happy. The only thing is that you need to, experience this divinity. That is when you see everything divine. You have heard about Rabindranath Tagore. He's a great poet. He said, Ananda dhara bohiche bhuvane. We see only, fear. We see only sadness, disease. But he said, Ananda dhara bohiche bhuvane. There is only this, this stream of bliss which is flowing in this whole world. How did he see this? He did not see any he did not see any fear. He did not see any hatred, any destruction. He only saw Ananda, bliss. Bliss. There is bliss. Madhu bata ritayate madhuksharanti shindava. The Rishi said, Madhu vata ritayate. Everywhere there is only honey, nectar. This is not this outer world. This is only nectar. Everywhere there is only nectar. This nectar which is coming out, which is falling from the sky. The nectar within the cow. The nectar in everything, in forest, in the plains, in trees, in plants, in fruits, in food, in human being. Everywhere there is only nectar. Why don't I see nectar? Because I have not been able to connect to that divine. I have not been able to perceive that divinity, and that is why I don't see nectar. I only see fear, danger, destruction. I don't see nectar. But avinashi tu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Always know everything is indestructible, everything is divine. Vinasham avvayasyasya na kashchit kartum arhati. How can you destroy the one which is immeasurable? You cannot measure it. Everything can be measured. Everything can be measured. Our distance from India to Australia can be measured. We are this kilometer apart. Everything, this is big, this is small, everything can be measured. Self cannot be measured because it is beyond time, it is beyond space, and it is beyond, objects. Desha, Kala, and Vastu. The one, where Desha, that is space, kala, time, and vastu, object, does not exist, is called the self. So, he says that how can you destroy this whole world? How can you destroy anything? These are all immeasurable. These are all the self, consciousness, infinity. Immeasurable means infinity. Infinity. What is infinity? Infinity is the truth, is the self. Infinity is the self. So everything is infinite. So you cannot destroy it. Nothing can be destroyed because everything is infinite. Okay? So be happy with this. Avinashi tu tad viddhi yena sarvavidam tatam vinasham avvayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. And then he says, antavanta ime deha nityasya ukta sharirina. Now he's coming. Now he was talking about this whole world. The macrocosm. Now he's coming into the microcosm. He says, antavanta ime deha nityasya ukta sharirina. This body has got a birth and it will have a death. This is true. This is decided. That because it has a birth, it is going to die sometime. But within this body, nityasya ukta sharirina, they say. Who said this? The people who have realized the truth. The people who have seen the truth, they say that the one who resides within this body is eternal. He does not have birth, he does not have death. He was present before birth and he will be there after death. Antavanta ime deha nityasya ukta sharirina. In this body, in this body of birth and death, the one who resides within the body is eternal. You reside inside the body. You are the eternal self. You are the eternal self. Nityasya ukta sharir. And who said this? I am not saying this. The people who have seen the truth, the rishis who have seen the truth, who have experienced the truth, they say that the person who resides within the body is divine, is eternal, is birthless and deathless. Okay? Antavanta ime deha nityasya ukta sharirina. Anashino aprameyasya. Anashino, it cannot be destroyed. This body can be destroyed. You can kill this body. But the one who is residing within the body, he cannot be destroyed. He is immortal. You cannot destroy him because there is no way that you can reach him. He is beyond everything. There is no way that you can reach him. You can touch him. He is beyond everything because every medium which you will apply is not applicable to him. He is beyond everything. And that is why he is anashino. He is indestructible. Aprameyasya. You cannot know him. You cannot know yourself. Because why? Because when does this process of knowing happens? When does this process of knowing happen? When there is the existence of three things. One is the knower, one is the known, and the knowledge. When these three things are there, then only the process of knowing can take place. There should be a knower. There should something to be known. And there should be a knowledge which connects between the knower and the known. But when you reach the self, you see that this knowledge, knower and known, this trinity, they become one. So when they become one, who will know whom? The knower and the known becomes one. The knower, the knowledge and the known. These three becomes one. So who will know whom? So you cannot be known. You are not known. You are always unknown. You are always unknown. You don't know who you are. And you will not know who you are. Because the moment you become yourself, who will know whom? And that is the real knowing. That is the real knowing. The moment the moment you go into the state of super consciousness, into the state of samadhi, you know who you are, because you have these feelings of oneness with the self. Because the self is the known, you are the knower. You are the knower, and you are trying to connect with that known, with the knowledge. So as you go near it, this three, the space between these three, they cease, and at one time they become one. But when you become one with the known, though you cannot know him, but you have the feelings of being one with the known. You have the feelings of being the absolute existence. You have that feelings, you bring back that feelings, that memory of being one with that absolute existence. Though you cannot express it, it's difficult, because how will you express this, that you were one with that, with that supreme existence. You had become that supreme existence at that point. How will you experience, how will you describe it? It's not possible, because there is no way that you can describe this word supreme. Everything in this world is relative. It's this is bigger because something is smaller. There is nothing absolute in this world. Because there is nothing absolute in this world, you cannot explain what is called absolute, but you can feel it, you can experience it, you can feel it. And because you have felt it, you will have these feelings always, living within you. Irrespective of your not being able to, express it, you will always feel it. And because you will feel it, this is how you will impart these feelings into the mind of a disciple. This is how the Guru does. The Guru tells you, na bidmo na bijanimo yathai tadono shishat. This is not possible for me to describe that. You want to know about that. Kena shitam patati prashitam manaha, kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha. The student comes and says, please tell me, how does this organ work? With whose power? With whose energy? The organs work, the senses work, the mind works, the prana works. Tell me. He says that is the eye of the eye. Chakshur chakshur manaso manu yada. That is the eye of the eye. That is the mind of the mind. Vachaha vacha sayu pranasya prana. That is, that is the speech of the speech. The speech is coming from another speech. That speech is unmanifested. You don't see where from these words are coming. I don't see. I don't know. It's coming, and I am imposing that these are my words. These are not my words. These are coming. This flow is coming from where? There is another speech who is speaking, who speaks, who is the real, who is the real speaker. He speaks. So he is the speech of that speech, of the speech. Vacha vacha, sayu pranasya prana. And our breathing, we are taking the, we are having this breathing always. Breathing in, breathe out, hold your breathing. Now if you say, how do you breathe? Just ask, how do you breathe? How it is possible that you are breathing, and how it is possible that a dead man cannot breathe? What happens? What is the difference between these two? What happens in a dead man that he cannot breathe? Even if you put all kinds of this costly machines, he cannot breathe. You cannot make him breathe 1 second more than what has been given to him. How do you breathe? With whose power? You breathe. We say, breathe. When you are sad, When you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, breathe. Now, how do you breathe? Where from this prana comes? Vacha vacha sayu pranasya prana. There is another one. There's a prana which gives the power to this prana, and this prana runs by the power of that prana. So there is another person who is, in the background, who is making everything possible. Who is that person? Who is that person who is making everything possible for us? Who is making our life possible? Who is making our movements possible? Who is making our speech possible? Which is making our hearing possible? Who is making our breathing possible? Who is that person? Na vidmo na vijanimo yathai tadanu shishyat. I do not know this person. Very clear-cut answer from the master. He is a real master. He says, this is not possible for me to describe that person, and I even do not know the way by which I can express it to you. But the master expresses it. How? By experience. By experience. Though he says that he cannot be expressed, though he says that there is no way, he doesn't know the technique, the skill, the way by which he can deliver this knowledge to his disciple, but he does deliver it, and the disciple also realizes the self. How? Experience. He experiences it in such a way that whatever he talks about, that becomes, the fireball of knowledge. It enters into the heart of a disciple, and it, burns away all the delusions. These experiences, though, unspeakable, though you cannot speak about it, though you cannot express it, inexpressible, though these experiences being unspeakable and inexpressible, they are so real, and they are so strong, and they are so powerful, that when delivered it to a real disciple, a one who has faith, who wants it, once delivered to a seeker, it acts like a fireball. It acts like a fireball, and it enters into the heart of a disciple and burns everything. And the disciple becomes free. The disciple doesn't do anything. We say, you need to meditate. What will you meditate? What will you meditate? How will you meditate? How, and up to what limit will you meditate to know the limitless? Up to what limit can you meditate? These are all words that we say to make our mind a little bit calm, a little bit focused. That's all. But with meditation, with any spiritual practice, you cannot attain self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is bestowed to you by your master, and that is why this is the secret of spirituality. Here Krishna is infusing this knowledge of the divine, of the infinite, into the mind of Arjuna. Arjuna's mind is closed, full of fear, completely depressed, in grief, absorbed in grief. But by this knowledge, it's opening up. And how we can know this? Because Krishna is speaking into more depth. That means Arjuna is grasping it, is absorbing it. Okay? So today we stop here. Antavanta ime deha nityasya ukta sharirina anashino aprameyasya tasmad yudhasva bharata. That is, in this body of